Hello everyone, I'm Michelle. Welcome to Contentment Guide Astrology. Today's video is about the full moon in Leo. It'll either be on the 12th or in some places in the world on the 13th of February. So at this full moon, we have the moon at 24 degrees 6 minutes of Leo. We have the sun in the opposite sign at 24 degrees 6 minutes of Aquarius. So at the time of the full moon, we always have this tension between the sun and the moon being in opposite signs. So it is a moment of culmination, of a blooming, and this is quite a dynamic full moon because we are dealing with a T-square to Uranus at 23 degrees 20 minutes of Taurus. So welcome to this full moon video. I'm so happy to have you here. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Please leave your comments. I love to hear about your experiences of how these energies are shaping your world at this time. Your interaction helps my channel and my business to grow, and I really appreciate each and every one of you that shows up here. So this full moon, like I said, we have the moon in Leo, we have the sun in Aquarius, and the ruler of this full moon is the sun. Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun is in Aquarius at this time, which is the furthest point from the sun's home in Leo. So this means that the sun needs to work a little bit harder. It is in a place that is darker and more unfamiliar to it in symbology. So the sun needs to bring a little bit more energy, to bring illumination, and working with the energy of the house of Saturn that it is in. It's dealing with some opposite energies of what the sun is usually used to. So that means at the time of this full moon, we might be dealing with a little bit more heavier energies, things to transform in more long-term ways that can feel a little bit heavy for us to deal with at this time. At the time of this full moon, we also have Mercury at 26 degrees 29 minutes of Aquarius. So on Sunday at the start of this week, we had the Mercury Cazimi in Aquarius, where we could have had a real point of illumination on the 9th of February with things to do with Mercury, with our minds, with our thought patterns, with communication. So at this time of the full moon, Mercury is now almost 3 degrees away from the sun, and this means it is under the beams of the sun. So at this time, Mercury is not as visible symbolically because the sun's beams are so strong, and Mercury is a little bit hidden. So this means at the time of this full moon, we're also going to be working a little bit harder in terms of our minds, our thought patterns, and our communication. So as you can see, there's definitely a theme at this full moon of things feeling a little bit heavier, maybe things being a little bit more unclear, and for us to really put the energy and hard work in when it comes to our thoughts and our minds, and how we are moving forward with especially the Aquarius part of our chart at this time. So Leo is that space of our individuality. It's where we want to shine and really be ourselves. And this is where the moon is at this time. And the sun is reflecting its beams onto the full moon at this time from Aquarius. Aquarius is very forward thinking, and Aquarius is not so much about the individual, it's more about the whole planet, the tribe, the groups that we are involved in. So intrinsically, with the moon being opposite the sun, we are working with some energies at this time where we are integrating how you bring your individuality into the tribe, into the group, and even onto the planet. So, like I said, there's a T square at the time of this full moon. Uranus is in that earthy place of Taurus. Taurus is a real earth energy. So when Uranus is in Taurus and Uranus is being activated by transit, the energy can feel very much like an earthquake. Uranus is that lightning bolt energy of insights and illumination and seeing things in new ways. And with the earthy Taurus energy, when that lightning bolt comes, it can feel a little bit like an earthquake. So things can feel a little bit unsteady at this time. But this is definitely a time where we can move forward in new ways. We can see things in totally new perspectives. And real insights can happen at the time of this full moon. Where Leo is in your chart, where Aquarius is in your chart, and also where Taurus is in your chart. So a T square is quite an uncomfortable energy because we are dealing with the opposition between the sun and the moon, and we're also dealing with two different squares between the moon and Taurus, and also between the moon and Uranus, and also between the sun and Uranus. So T squares bring a point of a challenge to evolve, a real point of almost feeling forced to evolve, otherwise something is going to break. So there's a point of evolution here that can feel quite uncomfortable, but can also be really amazing. So the other thing that's happening in the chart at the moment of this full moon is we have a more flowing aspect between Saturn at 18 degrees of Pisces and Mars still retrograde at 17 degrees 51 minutes of Cancer. So Pisces and Cancer are both these watery, emotional, intuitive places, and the trine between the two planets means it's a more flowing aspect that can help us change and evolve at this time. And what is different about this trine is that Mars is moving extremely slowly. Mars is going to spend a long time just between 18 and 17 degrees of Cancer as it's retrograding. Then it's going to station, and it's going to be again very slowly moving between 17 and 18 degrees. So there's a real slowness for Mars at this time. And when Mars is moving this slowly, it is actually amplified. And the trine with Saturn can help us to find new wisdom in dealing with how we take action, how we work with our desires, how we deal with conflict. All of these things can feel weightier at this time. And the trine between Saturn and Mars is quite a long-standing energy. It's only really going to go away completely when Mars is moving into Leo again on the 18th of April. So this is really an opportunity for us to work with these energies between Saturn and Mars. We are called to slow down. We are called to become wiser, to dig deeper, to deal with the things that might feel a little bit heavier, and deal with boundaries and conflict resolution, and find new ways of moving forward and how we're dealing with these Mars energies. So I did a I Ching reading to give us more guidance for the time of this full moon. I got hexagram 28 with 2 changing lines that then changed into hexagram 15. And 28 is called the Great Exceeding. It reads, find a way to lighten your load. Where there is life, there is still hope. Choose your battles. This is really to do with Mars. We are being called to be wise now with how we use this Martian energy. Go beyond ordinary limits and accept the flow of life. Put energy towards what is truly important and not towards things that don't nourish you. So yes, this is again the wisdom and the slowness of Saturn that we are being called towards. And then the hexagram 50 is called the vessel or the cauldron. It says, go inward and seek to see deeply. A new beginning will come through this awareness. It is time for slow examination and reflection. The slowness again to do with Saturn calling us to take the long-term view, to seek real wisdom, and also the slowness of Mars that we're dealing with right now. It says, use your inner resources to illuminate and see things that were previously hidden. Nourish the tribe through being yourself. And I love this last line because it again brings us back to self and other, that Leo and Aquarius. And I really feel it's so important in this time that we're in right now to really practice truly being ourselves, and how we feed and tap into and share ourselves with the tribe. We're definitely going to be more successful and feel better in our own bodies by truly being able to embody who we really are at this time. So this full moon, there is so much happening here in terms of slowness, of wisdom, in that balance point between action and slowing down, and also the balance between Leo and Aquarius. Who am I? How can I truly be myself? And then how do I bring myself into the tribe, onto the planet? How do I serve the collective and the collective purpose? So this is a beautiful time, and it can feel uncomfortable because we're dealing with that T-square with Uranus, and we might feel some earthquakes, some changes. But I think this is a beautiful time of change and finding new balance. So I drew a tarot card for this full moon, and I received the Two of Cups. And cup energy in the tarot is all about the heart. It is about intuition, and the two is very much about reflection. We see two people here. They are eye to eye, they are balanced out, they each hold a cup which they are offering each other. So there's balance there in terms of they are offering the same amount of energy. Twos in the tarot is also about germination. It is about doing our inner work. This card is about connection. It's about how we share ourselves with others. It is about seeing another and seeing ourselves clearly. And the balance point is also about reciprocity. So there is an increase of heart energy here. There is expansion. And what I love about this card is that at the top, we also have the face of the lion with wings. That really brings the alchemy and the Leo energy of authentically being ourselves into this energy. So that symbol of the squiggly lines that goes up to the lion is called the caduceus symbol, and it really speaks to the entwined snake wings of Hermes. And Hermes is the Greek god of commerce and communication. So in this card, there's also the symbolic energy of Mercury. So I feel that our thoughts, our mind, and our communication is very, very important at this time. And that caduceus symbol, it represents the merging of the energies between the two figures, merging of emotions, merging of communication. So there's a real symbology at this full moon between self and other, authentically being ourselves, how we share ourselves with the tribe. And it's going to be so interesting to see what light bulb insights we're going to get through Uranus at this time, and maybe finding completely new ways of moving forward. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that this reading was helpful to you. Please share your experiences and insights. With your sharing, this is how we all learn through astrology. And I am doing personal readings at this time. Please get in touch if you would like to know more about your specific chart and your journey through 2025. I will see you next time. Thank you.